the day of the Blittle League playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The day starts at Darby's house. Darby, you wake up bright and early to the sound of conversation in your kitchen. You know all three of the voices, but you are very surprised that they are all in one place. You head down the stairs and you see your adopted guardians, Louisa and Jorge, talking to your brother, the angel Declan.
Good morning.
Declan stands up. He was drinking a gallon of orange juice. He comes over and gives you a hug.
What are you doing here? What's
Playoffs?
No one.
Oh no!
There's no scheme. No one's dying. You're just here.
Not today.
You're gonna watch me play?
Special dispensation from upstairs. We switch.
Oh no! How dare you? Oh no!
Morgan, little while later, you're being driven to the game by Ryan. You are sitting in the front seat. Your mom will meet you there. The silence is the silence. But whereas Ryan normally just lets the silence hang, he kind of clears his throat as you drive through a green light. What could I do better?
What could you do better? As a wait, do you mean as like a stepdad or as like a chauffeur to the game? Because you're doing a great job getting me to the game.
Well, then let's focus on the other thing.
You could, for a long time, the answer would have been you could not be here and you could be Charlie instead. Maybe it's not you who needs to change. I pull out a peach ring and hand it to him.
He looks at the road for a second and kind of holds the peach ring in his hand. Thanks for giving me a chance, then.
I'm going to try to.
Let's do it here.
You mean it?
Yeah. If you're putting in the work, so will I. I'll just do it via teleconference.
Okay, Ryan, thanks. Do you want to watch your favorite show later? Curse of Oak Island?
Morgan, I do not want to distract you from the playoffs because I know how important it is. But let me tell you in all honesty that I think this is the season that the Laginas figure out what's at the bottom of the money pit. And it's going to change the course of Western history.
We'll see.
Switch over to Zlobs. Zlobs, you were told to get very good at the use of your spiked chain.
Yes.
So my question is, have you been trying to do that?
Yes.
You're working on it this morning,
Mm-hmm.
the morning of the playoffs. You feel like you should.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you and what are you doing?
I am. What I'm doing is I'm just hitting it into things. I'm like going in a circuit, using it to climb things, using it to tie up things, trying not to hurt myself with it, which I just did. So I'm bandaging up myself right now. This is in kind of like in my backyard. So I'm causing lots of chaos. I broke a lot of things.
The latch of the fence to your backyard, which makes a very distinctive sound, this rattly, rusty sound, like any good, fence latch does, rattles and swings open.
Ah!
It's Nana Mathers.
Hi, Nana.
Still working at it.
I'm trying. I'm not sure, like, what is like. Nothing magical ever happens with it. It's just a bunch of steel with spikes. I hit things with it.
I don't think it's supposed to be magical.
Okay. Oh, good.
If it was,
thank
it
goodness.
would be.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh.
I have some news, Zlobs.
Oh, I like news.
When we were trying to sort out the future, I think we got it wrong.
Uh-oh.
Or maybe we got it right and then the future changed. It's tough to tell with these things.
And I feel like it's probably my fault, and I'm sorry if I wasn't focused or it's my fault originally for everything, and then I'm sure I didn't do everything I needed to do. So I'm sorry.
Despite the warm weather, she is wearing an overcoat. And she produces from within it a wrapped piece of lemon loaf. And she hands it to you.
Oh, I tear into it.
Severus, you were stuck in an impossible situation. A version of you told you did something wrong, which means that you told you did something wrong. That's a heck of a burden. Doesn't matter your age. Do you want to hear the news now or after the game?
Could I wait till after the game? I really want to win. I'm afraid it might be one of the last things that we do as a team.
Okay.
And maybe I'll save this for after as well.
You can finish it. And she pulls out a second. She has already asked your parents if she could give you a ride to the game. And so she is. The two of you sit and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, light or heavy or nothing at all. But in her own way, she keeps you very, very present and very, very light.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I think my sister is going some time off from her summer classes to go see the game. And it's gonna be so cool. I'm probably not gonna hit a home run today, but I don't try hitting home runs because I'm not really a power hitter,
Right. Well, if you do, everyone will be watching, and even if you don't, everyone will be proud of you. And we switch a little later on. Mindy, you just so happen to be the first person at the Boston Garden. Because that's where the Blittle League playoffs are.
Yes!
It's at the Boston Garden. It's a day-long celebration of Blittle League with hundreds of families in the stands and the field of the Boston Garden subdivided into 3 fields so that multiple games could happen at once. The championship game is a grand spectacle held in the infield that is sized down for your purposes. Mindy, you're there early because Mr. Mathers just took you early. He wanted to get a good parking spot.
Yeah.
And
He got the best parking spot. From the dugout, if you look from the dugout down the walkway, you see the math wagon. It is immediately outside. You don't even know if that's a legal spot. But he was so excited to get it that no one told him he couldn't park there.
Both my dads are here today.
Yep. They are both incredibly excited. Nana Mathers was going to come with you, but she said that she had some business and she'll see you there.
I didn't even have to come for the business.
No, you did not. You are walking out on the infield of the Boston Garden, looking up into the stands. This place seats tens of thousands of people. The day is clear and crisp. And even though the stands are empty, there are so many of them that it just seems full. You're in a great big cathedral of splort. At field level, some of the umpires are already here, already kind of pacing the ground in their power armor. The grounds crew is finishing up, putting Blittle League fields in left field and right field, and then creating a small fence around the infield. You see 2 people talking, leaning. Well, one of them is leaning casually against a fence. That one you know. The other person you don't, but you think you do. Susie Chen is here, and early. And she is talking to an adult that you have never seen before. The adult is wearing a very smart black uniform. Tucked under her arm is a notebook, like an old black and white notebook, like a composition notebook. And behind her, maybe 5 or 6 feet away, I guess I should say 3 people, hovering is a dog wearing a jetpack.
What?
Yeah.
A dog?
A dog. Mindy, I will let you roll 2d6 plus sharp. This kind of gives it away.
Oh. Okay. 12.
Yeah, that'll do it. Susie Chen is talking to Coach Zap Xylophone of the traveling team. And right behind Zap Xylophone is her assistant coach, Bean the Jetpack Dog.
Oh, that's so much more whimsical than I would expect from the traveling team.
Yeah,
But,
Bean's uniform is also very smart, and he has a jetpack.
Okay, I have to ignore the dog right now. I'll get back to that later, but I'm gonna try and put that out of my mind. And okay. I just have to do something really quick. I'm focused on the game, so I'm not really worried about this situation right now. But I'll put just a quick little thought in Susie's head that's like, this traveling team doesn't seem like a good idea. In Susie's voice, as good as I can do it. Hold on, let me try again. This traveling team doesn't seem like a darning good idea. I've never done it before.
Plus weird, please.
Okay, let's see. And it's a 10.
All right.
Spot on.
10 for real.
Spot on.
Susie Chen kind of cocks her head to the side as Coach Zap's xylophone is talking to her.
I'll bend down and tie my shoe over and over again. To seem busy.
Yeah, she kind of thinks for a second, says one or two more sentences to Zap's xylophone, and then kind of excuses herself. The entire, both foul lines are kind of lined with dugouts, temporary dugouts to house all 12 teams. And so Susie Chen retreats to the Windflowers dugout. And at around this time, she sees you, and she gives you a look that you have trouble discerning. She's either happy to see you or angry to see you. Or focused on the game.
Always kind of hard to tell with Susie. I'll do a little wave.
She unwraps a stick of gum and pops it in and starts chewing and kind of gives you a nod.
Okay, that could mean anything. To test it out, I'll walk a little bit closer to her dugout and tie my other shoe over and over.
By the time you look up, she's 5 feet away.
Oh.
She's quick. She is strong, but she's also quick. Mindy.
Okay. I'll walk after her. And let me see if I have anything in my pockets. I don't have. I have a small bottle of hand sanitizer. I'm gonna throw it in front of her feet and then be like, "Oops, dropped that," and I'll weave in front to get it. Oops.
What's up?
Just dropped my hand sanitizer. Do you need any? The turnstiles could have germs. They might.
She extends her hands.
Okay, I'll give Susie Chen some hand sanitizer. So, how are you feeling today before the game?
Loose.
Good.
No pressure.
That's the opposite of how I'm feeling.
Why? Do you think I should feel more pressure?
No. I think you always play well. I hope you do well today.
Yeah, so does she. Susie Chen gestures over to the coach in the smart black outfit that is currently jotting down notes in a composition notebook.
Oh, I mean, you're not thinking of. Are you hoping to do the traveling team?
If you would have asked me an hour ago, I would have said yes, but now I'm not so sure.
Oh, because you think they're not such good news?
2d6 plus charm.
Oh no!
You did this.
Oh
to
no to
yourself.
charm. 5.
She looks at you for a good long second, and whatever realization she had, she keeps to herself.
Oh, that's the worst.
What they do is important,
I guess.
Very important.
Yep. Yeah, I guess I would just miss playing against you.
Well, do well enough, and maybe we play together.
I don't know if the traveling team is for me.
What do you know about the traveling team?
Nothing in this universe. Hey, are you mad at me?
Mad at you about what?
Okay. Well, today I felt really nervous about seeing you, which isn't really any different than usual because I always feel nervous about seeing you. But today it was kind of a little bit extra because recently I accidentally told somebody something that I didn't know they were listening to because of a technological mishap. And I was worried that it would result in a consequence for you. And whether or not the Windflowers deserve that kind of consequence isn't really any of my business. And maybe they did because even though I saw you, still wouldn't tell me who the client was that Thaddeus Blatmasters went to. And I guess that's all. I didn't know if you knew about that technological error causing me to say something to someone by accident, or if you maybe didn't know about it, but were still mad at me because I was mad at you about you not telling me about the client. Does that make sense?
She blows a bubble and it pops. Don't you worry about the consequences. Have a great game out there. The bat she was leaning on, she kind of kicks up to her shoulder and walks to the dugout.
Okay, I go retie my shoes in the dugout because I made an awful mess of these laces.
Mm-hmm. The sunflowers arrive in good order and on the early side. And with that, the crowds start to pile in. It is a beautiful day for Blaseball, and this is now, like last year, this was the highlight of your whole season. You know, you were in the playoffs, even with no wins. You played in the first round of the playoffs and lost. But this day last year, this playoff day at the Garden, was so amazing because you really felt like you were part of something. The amazing thing about last year was just the energy, the bigness of all of this, the fact that you felt small, but in a good way. You felt like you were a piece of something very, very large. You know, there were over 100, 150, 200 Blittle Leaguers, all from the Petal Division, all from the Leaf Division here, playing in front of their families, playing this sport in the Boston Garden. And last year, like this year, the traveling team was there to scout. And after the last season champs won, the traveling team coach started going to every dugout, and there were all of these miniature celebrations, and it was really a whole thing. Even though you lost in the first round and it was ugly, you all stayed for the whole rest of the day, eating, Fenway, or eating garden glanks. And
They make one that's the length of the dugout.
They do. It's the team dog, and it's a lot.
We finished that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
we actually went through 2 because we weren't playing.
And so that was last year. It was just this big, awesome thing. And you couldn't imagine last year, after taking all those losses and getting absolutely shellacked in the first round, that you would be coming in this year as the #1 seed in your division.
Feels good. It feels really good.
There are probably 5,000 people here, maybe more, gathered together because it's all open seating in clusters around each of the 3 ballparks. You're going to be observers of the first game of the Petals Division, because this is the essentially the play-in game. But once the games start playing, things go pretty fast. Mm-hmm. So Coach Martinez gathers everybody around now to give a speech. All right, everybody. I'm only going to say this. I am so proud of each of you because this season, each of you found your voice. And I want you all to use that voice right now. I want each of you to say something about this team and what this season meant to you. And that'll be our speech.
At the start of the season, I was lost. I didn't know how to be anymore. And I found it through each and every one of you. Every victory, every defeat, every moment in between. Thank you. And I'm here to go past the max.
Go past the max.
Go past the max. This is the first year that we get a lot of new starters, and so much happened. I feel like every game was so different, and I was really discouraged from last season, not winning any games, and I feel like we really came together as a team, and we just kicked so much butt, like constantly. Even when we lost, we were still kicking butt. That we never wilted, and we always kept fighting. And that's really inspiring and makes me want to kick more butt. And I'm glad I have such a strong crew to kick butts with.
Kick butts.
And I'm excited to go past the max.
Go past
Go
the max.
past the max.
Jess, who stands up in her tank. I knew this was going to be my only year playing Blittle League because I was going to age out. And so my hope was to squeeze an entire childhood of memories into one season. And I did. And then she sits back down.
I think
Elf Owls, they've got 10 years, not 100. So
I think that last season, I learned how to play Blaseball pretty okay. And I think this season, I still play Blaseball pretty okay. But I think this season, I learned how to be a part of a team. And I'm still learning a little bit. But I think that's a good thing. Go past the max.
Go past the max.
go past the max.
I sometimes this season got to command an army of angels. For those of you, I think you've all met them. If you haven't, maybe one day you will. Hopefully not. Anyway, that's the power of all of them working together is pretty impressive. But to me, the power of this team when we all play with our hearts, when we don't even need to use magic or any of our special powers, we just play with our hearts, and together we play as a team, that's stronger than any army I've ever seen. Thank you all for giving me a home, and yeah, thank you for making Somerville my home and a really fun team. Go past Max.
Go past Max.
Best to Max.
The rest of the team speaks in similar levels of heart, if not eloquence. Marcus Snaggins stands up at one point and kind of clears his throat. And what a journey Snags has been on. He says, in these exact words, I've been trying to cope with being a demon, and I know I can be so much more because it turns out a demon can be blessed by friends and by family. Thank you for helping me belong and for going past the max.
Go past the Max.
Go past the Max.
Lisa Lemon Wedge knocks it all out in a phrase. Harper's Bazaar, her speech is just giving everyone belts. Everyone is decidedly themselves in this moment. And it's a good moment and a warm moment and a kind moment. And Coach M does not have the last word. The last word just came from Salamander Scoot.
Scoot.
And he looks around and
Scoot.
says, no matter what happens today, we are the Sunflowers.
Yeah. All right, let's grow on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's
Go.
The next part's very, very exciting. There are the big opening ceremonies of the championship. That, by the way, if the chat has any good ideas as to what they entail, now is the time to write them down.
The commissioner is definitely there. The Blaseball commissioner,
who is doing a great job.
doing a great job.
There is indeed a talent show from the umpires.
Yeah.
The umpires. Umpire Singh tells a real tight 8 minutes of Blaseball themed stand up. And all the umpires are singing. There's all manner of things. There are confetti cannons firing flower petals, and a number of the actual Boston Flowers are here as well, as something of an honor guard, and they sing the Massachusetts anthem and the Blittle League fight song, which is not a song about teams beating other teams, but about teams beating everything that gets in their way, because that's what Little League teams do. And then the very last thing is a video in the big outfield, kind of the big outfield jumbotron of the Boston Blittle League's traveling team, and it is, for lack of a better phrase, highly produced. It's it's like this big sweeping montage. For as long as there has been Blittle League, there has been a traveling team. For in between the cities where Blittle League is played, there must still be hope. And it cuts to like a big traveling team van, like driving down a lonely road. And you see all these like kind of still frames of like the traveling team fighting big scary things in Appalachia and in the Great Plains of the Midwest. And oh, that's super strange. Mindy, it's like someone walked over your grave for a second. You saw like in a bit of the flashing montage, a young Clarissa Mathers on top a horse with one other kid about her age, like kind of riding across some desert landscape, chasing what looked like just a big swarm of something. You didn't know she was on the traveling team. Never came up.
Huh.
And it's just all these things. And then it kind of like cuts out and big applause. Coach Zap Xylophone, who is like leaning against a fence, kind of like takes a few steps forward and kind of waves to everybody, and great big cheers. And then you see like clusters of all the Blittle Leaguers from all the other teams like starting to talk to each other, and like some of them like the color is draining from their faces. And then after that, there is the annual running of the turkeys, and it's a whole situation.
Before the game start, who has a first round bye? Is it the top two, or just the top team?
It is the top. Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Oh,
it's the top team in each division. Now you may be asking, that's awfully strange because the divisions already have 6 each.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because to allow a first round bye for the Leaf division and the Petal division, the bottom 3 teams in each division play each other simultaneously. And so that is what you watch.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to say before the Carnations start playing, I wanted to go up to Vespa and Wisherlock.
Yeah.
Which teams are playing all together? It's the Carnations.
So I'll put it to you this way: the round 1, the first round buy-in game or play-in game in your division are the Arlington Angelicas pitching to the Medford Magnolias, pitching to the Transit Trillium, who are then pitching to the Arlington Angelicas.
Oh, amazing!
Got it.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on, and you're watching that, and yeah, Zlobs, you saunter over to Vespa, and Vespa's kind of at the end of the dugout, kind of greasing up her baseball glove.
It must be annoying to have to play in the first round when you didn't have to last year.
If we win, we see you for the division championship,
I can't wait. Do you think you can the Charlestown Cosmos pretty good?
They are. I think we have a deeper bench and better pitching and better hitting, and we're smarter.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to give you something before the game.
When you say that, the kind of narrow-eyed gamesmanship that you're both doing kind of washes away. What?
I remember when I told you about Lemon Loaf and how it was the best that I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I hand her half of the lemon loaf that I have saved for later.
Oh.
She smiles.
I'll see you in the division finals.
Hey, thanks for everything this season.
It's been a tough one.
I know. See you out there.
Have fun.
You too. Of the 3 teams, the Arlington Angelicas, the Medford Magnolias, and the Transit Trilliums, who do you all want to win?
Oh, transit.
Trilliums.
The
Trillium.
Trilliums win.
yeah, not
Yeah.
the Angelicas. Definitely not the
No.
Angelicas. No.
So you're watching what's going on here, and the and it's spectacle. It's multiple games happening at once. Like you're playing, you see everyone else playing. It's chaos. There's cheers, and then everyone will instinctually look at one of the other fields to who's cheering what and why and when.
Oh, what's the weather?
The weather is beautifully sunny, no adverse effects.
Wow, how lovely.
Yeah. The weather control generators are on today. The sense you're getting is that Zap Xylophone and Bean the Jetpack Dog are scouting individual players. Like they're here to scout individual players. Like you all just kind of observe this. And the sense you all get is they're scouting Susie Chen of the Windflowers, Rifle Valentine of the Carnation, and Inbound of the Trillium.
Mm-hmm.
And you're very aware of that because when it's your turn to play the Trillium, because that's who you're playing, Zap Xylophone kind of plops herself down right in the first row, and just starts taking a lot of notes. And at one point, calls Inbound over, and Inbound kind of answers a number of questions in a very rote and composed way before returning to the bench. So now you're playing in the playoffs. Here's how this is going to work. There's going to be one roll for each game.
Oof.
You roll until you fail. On a failure, you're done. On a partial success, you're going to choose two things. One of them is going to be you win the game. But then you will always get two more, and you choose between them. On a full success, you pick all three things. So that's what's going to happen every round. Is I'm going to give you three options, and you're going to choose either 0, 2, or all three of them. So let's get started. The Transit Trillium game. I want someone to roll 2d6.
Do it.
But if someone could tell me why you deserve a +1, something cool that happens, something that has happened over the course of the season that gives you an edge or an advantage, I will grant you that +1.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna say that knowing that I'm going to stay, it's gonna put my heart in the game just that much more.
2d6
Okay.
+1, please.
Oh, wait. Do we get more than one? Do we get more than one? Oh, okay.
That's an 11.
Your three options, you get all three. Or you can, I'll put it to you this way. You can choose all three of these if you want. You win. You impress the traveling team. And Catherine and Genevieve Thompson finally reconcile and start a new business together.
I knew they could do it.
Would you like all three?
I would love all three, please.
Morgan, you rolled it. I want you to describe the game and how specifically you pitched.
Yeah, so it's a really close game. I'm really hitting it with the defense, but they are too. In the last two innings, they just start letting them go. I never do. I can't explain why. But in those last two innings, I strike him out. Looking.
Yeah. 9 straight pitches, all strikes, plenty of movement.
Mm-hmm.
On the third batter, the third strike of the third batter, the punch out game ender. Even before the ball hits Zlobs' mitt, Ryan jumps up on his feet and screams. The Snaggin's parents look at him and then look, and then everyone starts cheering. And you move on. In between games, all of you are celebrating, and Bean the jetpack dog flies over to you and then gestures for you to walk over to Zap Xylophone. Do you?
Do I know? I know who they are.
Yeah, it is very clear that the coach of the Boston Blittle League traveling team is here.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been watching, like, your heart is light and you're very present, so you probably noticed this less than most. But there's kind of a running rumor mill in the dugout of, like, who is the traveling team scouting right now. And, like, every so often she'll, like, call someone over to talk to them, and you get the call.
Yeah. I'll walk over slowly, and just as it looks like they're about to speak, I hold up my hand. Thanks. I am not interested. And then I walk off.
Ooh, classy.
Oh, wait, secret.
No! No!
Does Zap Xylophone have a secret?
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Not like this. Not like this.
While Morgan, it's just a quick detour. While
Not like
Morgan's
this. Not
talking
like
to
this.
Zap Xylophone, does Zap Xylophone have a secret?
2d6 plus weird, please.
This is helpful for everybody. This is helpful for everyone. Yes. 10. 10. This is helpful.
Do you want to learn something about the traveling team? Do you want to learn something about Zap Xylophone?
Traveling team.
Zap Xylophone had no intention of scouting anyone on the Sunflowers.
Oh.
Until she received a letter. And you can see it in her mind. It was anonymously, but you know Nana Mathers' handwriting, if you know any. And it had your 4 names on it. Which means the traveling team is now actively scouting the 4 of you.
Oh no.
Morgan. Psst, Morgan.
Yeah?
Maybe you want to try again and talk to them. Do you think?
The traveling team would take
it
me
might-
away from...
It might be a good idea.
Why?
Just to see.
I turn around to Xylophone. Sorry, I was emotional today. What is it?
Zap Xylophone laughs. Disarmingly, in fact. Well, we take the best players from around the league and put together a team that plays whenever we need them to play, wherever we need them to play. You're still who you are, and you're still on your team. But this means more Blittle League. Often at the drop of a hat. So we only scout those that are good on the field and good off of it as well.
You think I'm good?
You put down the heart of their lineup with 9 straight pitches.
That I did.
Also,
no, I mean...
she takes out her like a little digital assistant and scrolls through a couple of photos of you from like security camera footage and, aerial drone photography of you throwing electricity at large, horrifying things, putting up electric defensive bubbles, defending your teammates. She turns it off. Just wanted to get to know the player.
All right.
Good luck out there.
Thanks.
That was good.
Thanks, Mathers.
Round 2. Mm-hmm. Technically round 3. You had a round 1 bye.
Mm-hmm.
So third round, Cambridge Carnations game.
Mm.
Who wants to roll it?
Can I do one die with someone?
Yeah.
Darby?
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
You roll. +1 somebody?
Which one of the two of you, Zlobs or Darby, has a +1 reason why you think you're going into this game against the Cambridge Carnations with an advantage?
We have the power hitter, Darby or Darcy, who had when's the last time there was a home run at the Ivy? I can imagine she is in their heads.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was a decade ago, the last time that someone who wasn't a Carnation actually hit it out of the Ivy, they lost in the third round to that team.
The psychological impact of a generational power hitter. Sounds good to me. Though if YOLO Man for real in the chat has one, now's the time for me to hear that as well.
Oh, uh-oh.
In the meantime, each of you roll a d6 and tell me what you get.
I was so scared. I got a 1.
All right. Partial success.
Darby, what did you get?
I got a 6.
Okay.
Here are your 3 options.
I rolled feelings. She rolled lasers.
I will let YOLO Man bump that up to a 9, but it is a 9. Your 3 options, you get to choose 2. You win. You further impress the traveling team, or Jess Who receives a scholarship to the Massachusetts Institute of Technomancy.
I mean, it's no WPI.
But she'll be closer.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She earned it.
Yep.
Zlobs?
Yeah.
Just who in a win?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
All right. So Zlobs and Darby,
easy
you each rolled. So I want each of you to describe half the game. How did it work? How close was it? How exhausting was it?
In one word, it was messy. It was the messiest game of Blaseball in a long time. So many forced errors, unforced errors, wild pitches, stolen bases, caught stealing. They had to get to take out an ancient rule book because a ball hit something it shouldn't have hit and was eventually ruled a ground rule double after kind of leaving the dimension but coming back.
Mm-hmm. It was also just physically messy. So much sliding that the whole field was just mud. And you would have thought that it had been raining for days because just the field was just so torn up, a lot of cuts, a lot of bruises, even rifle. Their hair got messed up, which is very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
It was a big deal.
We actually had towards the back third of the game, we had to go to a different field because it was deemed unplayable. When we accidentally went through the bottom of the Boston Garden and into a sub basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well, one of the carnations had brought a little bit of the ivy as like a good luck token, except it grew and it started like
in
taking
the Boston Garden, that
In
is
the-
an invasive species.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a bad
Also,
time.
also, Nicole Orby brought some of the long stalks too, so they were fighting as well.
I know.
So it was just
Ugh.
extra growth everywhere. It was
Yeah,
messy.
and this is the game where the umpires really really earn their salary. Umpire Singh and umpire Lee both at one point, they at one point they call in they call in added reinforcements.
Oh wait, was umpire Simon at this game?
Zlobs, do you want him to be here?
Yes.
He is. He doesn't say anything to you, nor does he come down to the field, nor does he sit with anyone. You see him sitting in the upper deck all by himself, holding his red duffel bag. You make eye contact with him once or twice, and he doesn't look away, but he doesn't do anything more than to give you a nod. And you realize, if you were him, why he's doing that. And that's why he is, because he's you. You already cut it so close, talking about the future, that he doesn't want to do anything that will further upset it. He's given you everything he could.
While, at one of the at-bats later on in the game, as I'm, it's like counts like 1-1. I look up to him. I swing and miss, and then as I'm like resetting, I look up to him, make eye contact, and I flash him the sunflowers sign.
He makes the same face you make when your swing is too open, and you know it.
Oh, I flip down my shades, and then I get a hit.
Tighten up the stance.
Yeah.
Quick inside out swing. Yeah. It's a wild game, but the umpires call in reinforcements, and the umpire, essentially the pit crew, bolts extra weaponry onto them, and they must they must pause all the games and engage in active fire-based weeding before everything can continue. Now, all of this creates quite the spectacle. The entire afternoon, the morning into the afternoon, into now the early evening, is all very, very exciting. Lost almost in your victories, one magnificent and one gritty, is the fact that all the other teams here are absolutely playing their hearts out. And win or lose, every game is full of the raw, large emotion of youth. Teammates hugging each other for the last time that they will be teammates. Kind of kids smiling with like warm tears on their face with their parents on their side, extended families coming down to the field. Snacks and birthday cakes. It's like every team has at least one birthday today. Celebrations and joys and heartbreaks on one of Blaseball's biggest stages. Which, of course, leads us to the final game, the championship between the Petal Division and the Leaf Division. The Somerville Sunflowers versus the undefeated Queen Anne's Lace of Quincy, Massachusetts.
The Quincy Qualls.
The Quincy Qualls. Undefeated, and no game has been close. Their players are all excellent, but the coaching is better. They are coached by the ghosts of First Lady Abigail and former President John Adams.
What?
Both give, before every game, speeches so beautiful, so foundational to the human experience that waves of weeping sweep through the crowd again and again as Abigail and John Adams hold a nation enwrapped before every Quincy qualifier.
Okay.
It's fine. I've talked to a U.S. president while they were alive.
Indeed. In point of fact, in point of fact, John Adams, or the ghost of him, Zlobs gives you just the strangest look.
That
For
wave.
like a second. And then talks to Abigail. And then Abigail kind of shakes it off.
I look at Zlobs. Zlobs, do you know somebody I don't?
We could get ready for our next game. As I pick off like a clod of dirt out of like Morgan's hair.
Thanks.
All right.
I'm big in the presidential circle.
The Quincy Queen Anne's Lace, the Quincy Qualls, are about as complete a Blaseball team as you will ever see. The traveling team has already recruited their star player. They didn't even wait for the season to be over. They didn't even wait for it to be over. After the first game, Zap Xylophone made the offer to their third base person, Franklin Coyne.
Oh, great name.
Good name. Good name.
Good name.
And all the other offers happen afterwards. Every single player on this team is good.
Mm-hmm.
And good people. Quincy has a lot going on in terms of the arcane. And so they're almost constantly on duty, so to speak. And they are they are a hardened group. In fact, just through a weird kind of arc of events, 3/4 of the team are in their final year. So like they're all kind of peaking at this moment. They have won their second round game against, actually, let me pull that up. I do have this written down. You see, this is why I should just pull it up ahead of time. There it is. That's right. The first round, they absolutely hammered the Roxbury Roses 15-0.
Oof.
And in point of fact, you're pretty sure they made it their business to beat them that bad because they heard what they did to you.
Oh, they took our revenge.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's classy, but also frustrating.
Wait, what did they do to us?
Made us sick.
It's really
Oh,
sick.
sick.
Which is not okay.
Remember all the snot cups?
Yeah, darn that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
didn't like it either.
They didn't shut out the Waltham Windflowers. Susie Chen hit a solo home run and a bases clearing RBI double.
Did the traveling team talk to Susie Chen after all that stuff?
Zapsa, you watched because you were like on the bench at the time when Susie hit that home run,
Mm-hmm.
and you looked and you saw Zap Xylophone and Bean the Jetpack Dog like exchange a meaningful glance and write something real quick in the notebook.
Little thought in Zap Xylophone's head. Oh, she's pretty good.
You want to roll it?
No,
All right.
no, I just toss it out there. Maybe it reaches her, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, that's just something for the universe.
It's like an over the shoulder toss.
Yeah. It just sort of flew out.
It just hit someone in the audience.
I'm not rolling again till I have
Who
to.
is Susie Chan?
And yeah, so Susie Chen is responsible for driving in 4 runs, and the Quincy Qualls beat the Waltham Windflowers 11-4.
Ooh.
And now it's your turn. What happens before the final game? There is something extra, some added ceremony that happens. I ask you, what is it?
The entire Boston Garden blooms.
Mm-hmm.
The entire field. It feels like it comes out of nowhere, but it just blooms like a garden with all of the flowers in the entire league. And then they just grow up out and then float into the sky.
All of the Boston Flower players come watch the game wearing their old Blittle League jerseys for the teams that they played.
Yep. Teams from all over the country, a couple of locals. And they're all watching. They're all there behind each dugout.
Oh, there's a defunct team. Nick Winkler's wearing the Southeast sewer rats.
The Slouthy sewer rats.
Yeah.
He's currently working his way through nachos with multiple lobster rolls on it. And yeah, then there's the big grand bloom. And and Umpire Singh walks out to brings Coach Martinez and the coaches Adams out and has words for each of them, and then steps back and asks the captains to come forward, and Franklin Coyne walks out for the Quincy Qualls, and every single sunflower just instinctually walks forward too. And you exchange lineup cards.
We do a thing where we hand it to everyone. Everyone hands it, even the people on the bench. All have a chance on the card, and then then we give it to them.
And that's exactly what happens. And with that, we play the final game of the season. Mindy, you're the only one that hasn't rolled. This one's going to be a little different. You're still going to pick one on the failure. So a failure is you pick one, a partial is you pick two, a full you pick all three. So you have that going. But because the Quincy Qualls are so good, no one gets the +1. I do want you, Mindy, to explain why you think you can beat this team at all.
Well, I think we've worked really hard all season, and when I watched them all get ready, I noticed when they stepped out onto the field, they all looked at their coaches that are on the sides, and then they looked straight at us. And when we lined up to bat, we're all looking at each other. And it just seems like we're a little bit more on the same page. And I don't usually start at bat because I'm not the best. But we're on the same rotation since we've been playing all day. So I step up first.
Yep.
And I see Susie Chen watching me from the dugout. So I point my bat at her.
All right, fine. You get the
And
+1.
I just think we can do it.
I will tell you the options ahead of time.
Oh, no.
1, you win. 2, you further impress the traveling team. 3, when the doom comes next session, Unity San Philippe can help you. And 4, Armistice Pierce is a friend and not an enemy. You get 4 choices. At worst, you pick 1. At best, you pick 3. 2d6 plus 1, please, for all the marbles we got.
Eight.
You pick 2. You win. You impress the traveling team further. Unity San Philippe can help you. Armistice Pierce is an ally and not an enemy.
Do we get a huddle?
Yeah.
Wait, is this in or out of character?
Does anybody have a vote? Just strong feelings?
I have one against. I have Zlobs is not like the traveling team. So
Nana thinks we should join the traveling team.
Yeah, well, they tried to they poach me. They killed some of our alternative friends.
To be fair, that
That
was in
was-
a different reality.
And it was Sunman. So maybe there was some reason that we didn't know that was also happening in that universe. I don't know.
Zlobs, what's most important?
What's most important? Winning. And having a friend.
That was 2.
Yeah.
Okay, Morgan, what do you think?
Unity San Philippe is going to be so important.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that she is on the side of true. So I vote Unity.
Mm-hmm.
I vote Unity also.
Okay.
Oh, we only get one.
We get 2.
We got
Oh,
2.
okay. Easy.
Sounds like Unity is 1, so what's the other one?
Unity San Philippe can help us at doom o'clock.
Mhm.
And number 2, we impress the traveling team.
Tell me about this final game.
I'm sorry. I think we play really well.
You do.
We do a good job.
You do.
It's quite close,
It is.
but they're like a well-oiled machine. And in the end they just barely pulled ahead. But I think we really put up a good fight.
Yeah. It's an amazing game. A lot of heart. All 4 of you play well. You support each other. You cheer for everybody else.
Got caught stealing one too many times.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I could get him looking, but they hit it, especially in that last inning.
Oh, that last inning.
The last inning, yeah.
Oh,
They were good sports, though. Gotta give them that.
yeah.
They played really well, and so did we. And I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry I dropped that last out.
My gosh, Mindy. No out is on one person. No game is on one person.
Yeah.
It was all of us as a team, and we all played well, and we should all be proud.
I think
Mindy
so, too.
Mathers, you did so good.
Yeah.
You got 2 hits?
Yeah,
I never get hits.
you got 2 hits.
Morgan, you pitched like so good.
Hey, Mindy.
Best all season. What is it, Darby?
Oh, no, I was just going to tell you, I see Susie in our dugout eating one of the Blindell's cupcakes that we have in there. So
Oh, that's okay.
she probably just wants to congratulate you.
She doesn't. She's mad at me.
Well, for coming a second week, I'll get $25 gift certificates to Sparrows. Maybe you can buy her a pizza.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There is one other thing that you all get. In the Boston Garden, there's actually no record of who wins the final game. There is just a collection of pictures of the final 2 teams shaking hands. And so for as long as the Boston Garden stands, there will be a picture of all of you lined up, shaking hands with the other really good team. San Felipe Tower. Unity San Felipe and John Prince are at work late, going over some financial projections. Suddenly, the lights go out in the conference room, followed a few seconds later by the click and hum of emergency generators powering on. "Nice trick," says Prince, who we of course know as Pythias. "Like I said during the interview, the building is self-sustainable if we want it to be," Unity replies. "Shame the rest of the city isn't," Prince says, moving towards a window and looking outside. Unity stands up and looks out the window as well. The entire city is blacked out. Unity says, cracking the knuckle of her left index finger with her left thumb. "Problem, boss?" asks Prince. "If this is her move, she's more ruthless than I suspected," Unity replies. She walks over to the intercom on the wall and presses a button. "Prepare a car. I need to go to Somerville."